Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Faizan Khan and you are learning how to build this retail billing system using Python and Tkinter. So this is the last part. In the previous part, we have seen the functionality of this total button and this bill button. And in this part, we will see the functionality of this email button, this print button, this clear button, and this search button. So I will start with the functionality of this search button. Let me show you how this search functionality works in this original project. So here we need to enter the bill number that you want to search, and once you'll click on this search button, the result you will see inside this bill area. Okay, so firstly let me show you the bills folder inside which we have few bills. Let me open this one. This is the bill detail of customer Tuba. So I want to display this bill in my bill area. So I will search with the help of bill number 1254. You can see that bill details are displayed here. Okay. And if you search for some non-existing bill, in that case, you will see this error message box, invalid bill number. If you see here in the last video, I have commented these lines so that I can work on the bill area functionality easily, right? So now I can uncomment it and then I can add the else and everything will be in the else part. So I'll select all this and will provide tab space. Okay. So I'll define a function here, def search bill, and inside this function I will iterate inside this bills folder and will check if the bill that I am searching is inside it or not. If the bill matches, then the content of that file I will insert inside the bill area. Okay. If the bill does not match, then I will display a message box that invalid bill number. So I'll use a for loop here for I in os dot list dir, and I'll mention the folder name bills like this, and let me print this I variable so that you can understand what is inside it. And before running the code, I need to call this search bill function. So from where I will call it? I will call it from the search button that we created here. Okay. So at last you can provide a command or you can move it to a new line, and here you can provide a command equals to search bill without parenthesis. Okay, and now you can run the code, and once you click on the search button, see what it is printing. It is printing everything that is there inside the bills folder, right? There are 3 files, so it is printing the file names here. All right. As these files are saved with the bill number, so it will be easy for us to search, right? So how will we search? Instead of printing, we'll mention that if I dot split, we will split the file from this dot. So this will be nothing but a list where first element will be the 690 and the second element will be txt. Okay. So we want to compare the first element of that list. Okay, so here it will be 690. So I want to compare it with the value that the user will be writing on search bill entry field. So the entry field name was bill number entry dot get method. So if the bill number that you are searching is matching with the file name, then this condition will become true, and in that case I want to display the content of that file on the bill area. So I'll open that file in read mode, and I'll name that file as f, and then I'll delete the text area content before inserting anything. So I'll write text area dot delete, and from start till end I will delete everything, and then I will insert the content of this file. So I'll use a loop here for data in f, and will insert this data inside this text area. So I'll write text area dot insert method, and at the end I will insert this data, and then I will simply close the file. So I'll write f dot close, and suppose you have entered a bill number which is not matching with the file name. In that case we'll come out of this for loop and we'll use the else, and here we will simply display a message box dot show error. Firstly the title will be error and the message will be invalid bill number. Okay, and also once the bill is successfully searched, after that I will simply break and will come out of this for loop. Okay, and once I'll come out of this for loop, then this else code will not be executed. It will only be executed when this for loop execution will be over. Okay, so if bill will not match with the file name, then only this else code will be executed. Okay, and if the file name matches with the bill name number, then you will see the bill data inside bill area, I mean text area, and then will simply come out of the loop. I hope you are able to understand it. So if I'm searching for a bill number that does not exist, in that case you will see the error message box, invalid bill number. Now if I search for 690 which exists, in that case you will see the content of that file inside this text area. Okay, similarly you can search for some other bill number. Okay, the previous content got deleted and the new content got inserted. I hope this is clear. So let me explain you once again what the code does. Firstly, we are iterating over this bills folder files one by one, and then we are checking the file name whether it matches with the value that the user is writing on the bill number entry field. If it is matching, then we are opening that file in the read mode, and then we are deleting the content from the text area if anything is present there, and then we are inserting one by one each line of this file inside this text area, and then we are simply closing the file, and then we are using this break keyword. So once the file that you are searching is found, we will simply come out of this for loop. Okay, and suppose the file is not present there, okay, inside this bills folder. In that case, we'll simply go to the else part and you will see this error message box that invalid bill number. Now after this, let's start working on this print button. So again, I'll define a function here, def print bill, and let me call this function from the print button. So here I'll pass a command equals to print bill without parenthesis. So firstly, I'll check if the text area is empty or not. If it is empty, then we'll simply display a message box that no bill content is there on the bill area, so we can't print anything, right? But if it is not empty, in that case, we will create a temporary file and will add the bill content inside it and will print that file. So I'll write if text area dot get from start till end is equals to \n. So when text area is empty, there is only \n, a new line character there. Okay, so we'll compare it with \n. So this means the text area is empty. Okay, in that case, I will display a message box and I will show error. Firstly, I'll add the title and then the message. So the message will be bill is empty. Okay, so printing cannot happen. But if that is not the case, if the content is there on the bill area, in that case I will create a temporary file. So in order to create a temporary file, we have one module which is temp file, so we can simply import it. It's an inbuilt module, so you don't need to install it. After that, you can create a temporary file using this module dot mktemp method, and to this you can pass the extension of the file. So the file that I'm going to create is a txt file. Okay, and I'll name this file as file, and now I'll open this file in write mode and will write text area content inside it. So I'll write text area dot get, and from start till end I will get all the content. So that content will now go inside this temporary file that we have created. Okay, and then we can simply print this file. So in order to print it, we'll use os module dot start file method, and we have to pass the file name. So the file is this file only. Okay, and then the command. So the command is print. So if your printer is connected to your PC, then the text area content will be printed out. Okay, right now my PC does not have a printer, but let me show you what will happen. So firstly, as you can see, there is nothing on this bill area. So if I try to print, it says bill is empty, right? So let's generate the bill. So we'll firstly total and then we'll generate the bill. It says customer details are required. So I'll enter a name and a phone number. Then it will ask you whether you want to save the bill. So I'll click yes. So bill number is saved successfully. Okay, and now if I click on this print button, you can see firstly it is asking me to save the output as. Okay, so the output will be saved in the form of a PDF. So in that PDF, the content will be same as this temporary txt file. Okay, so I'll give it a name. So once you'll click save, if your printer is connected, that bill will be printed out. Okay, so I hope you understood it. It's easy. So on my desktop, if you see, a PDF file is created, and this is the output content that we have printed. Okay, it's just a record that is created. And after this, let's work on the functionality of this email button. So if you see this original project, if I click on this email button, it says bill is empty. So we'll firstly have to generate the bill. And once the bill is generated, now you can email this bill. You can see a new window on top of our main window, right? So firstly, we will have to create this new window, and inside this window, we'll have to create this label frame, the labels and corresponding entry fields. Okay, and then this send button. And later we will see how we will be able to send the email. So I'm going to define a function here, def send email, and let me call this function from the email button. So here I'll add command equals to send email. Okay, so inside this function, firstly I'll apply the same condition, that if text area is empty, in that case I will display an error message box that bill is empty. Okay, so if you click on it, it says bill is empty. So firstly we will have to generate the bill, then only we'll be able to send the email. Okay, and if text area is not empty, we'll go to the else part, and in the else part I will create a new window which will be on top of our main window. So how do we create it? Just like we have created our main window, in the same way we'll be creating the new window on top of our main window. So here you can see we have used firstly created the object of the tk class, right? Here we'll give the object variable name as root1, and instead of tk class we use top level class. Okay, we can also use tk class, that will also work in the same way. Okay, and then we had used main loop method so that we can see our window continuously, if you remember, right? So if I run it, it says bill is empty. So we'll firstly have to generate the bill, right? So for now what I'm going to do, I'm going to comment these lines so that uh, we don't have to generate the bill again and again. Okay, in order to see our email window. So now once I click email button, you can see a new window on top of our main window is created. Okay, it also has the same title as this retail billing system, but if you want you can change it. So we'll change the title root1 dot title method, and the title will be send Gmail. After that, I'll change the background color of our window. So root1 dot config method and bg will be gray 20, like this. Okay, and then I will disable this maximize button so that nobody can resize this window. Okay, I want this window of fixed size. So for that, I'll write root1 dot resizable method, and here I'll pass false value for the width and false value for the height. So now you can't maximize this window or drag this window from left to right or top to down. So let's start adding things inside this window. So here I'll create a sender frame using a label frame. This label frame will be inside my window, right? Which window? root1 window. So if you'll mention root here instead of root1, then you will see this label frame on your main window. But I want to see this label frame on this top level window, right? So we'll mention root1 here. After that, I'll add text to this label frame. So the text will be sender. Then I'll add font for this text. So the styling will be Arial. Size of the text will be 16, and I'll make the text as bold. And after creating the label frame, we also need to grid it in order to see it on the screen. So we'll write sender frame dot grid method, as this is the first thing we are adding on our top level window. So row will be 0 and column will be 0. And as you already know that if you are not adding anything inside the frame, you won't be able to see it on the screen. As you can see, its size is further decreased, and it will be increased once you will start adding things inside the label frame. So we'll create Gmail ID label using a label class, and this label will be inside the sender frame. The text on this label will be sender's email. Okay, we'll have to use double quotes outside, as we are using apostrophe s inside, right? And after that, I'll add font for this text. Style will be Arial, size will be 14, and text will be bold. And then I'll grid this Gmail ID label. So I'll grid it at row 0 and column 0. I hope you are able to understand why row 0 column 0, because inside the sender frame we don't have anything, and this Gmail ID label is the first thing we are adding in it. So that's why row 0 and column 0. Now if I run it, you can see that the window size is increased and you are able to see the label frame as well as the label. Let me change the background color of the label frame, and let's provide some border to it. So here I'll mention BD equals to 6. Background color will be gray 20, and I'll change the text color to white. Sorry, instead of text it will be FG. Yeah, like this. And now I'll change the background color of this label to gray 20 and the text color to white. So I can copy these two values from here. Yeah, this is fine. Now after this, just next to it we have to create its entry field. So this is at row 0 column 0, so its entry field will be at row 0 and column 1. Let's name it sender label. It will be easy to understand, and I'll name the entry field sender entry. And this entry field will also be inside my sender frame. After that, I'll provide font for the text that will be written inside it. So it will be the same font, and then I'll mention border of 2, width of 23, and styling to the border will be ridge. Okay, and then we need to grid this entry field. So we'll write sender entry dot grid, row value will be 0, column will be changed to 1. And let's add horizontal and vertical padding. So firstly, to this sender frame, I'll add horizontal padding of 40 pixels, vertical padding of 20 pixels, and then to the sender label and to this entry field, I'll add pad X of 10 pixels and pad Y of 8 pixels. Something like this. Okay, so as you can see, this is 40, 40, 20, 20, and this is 10, this is 10, this is 10. Okay, and this is 8. Okay, in the same way, inside this sender frame only, we'll have to create password label and its entry field. So I'll copy this label and this entry field, and we'll change the name. Text will be changed to password. Okay, row value will be changed to 1, and that's it. After this, we have to create recipient frame. So we'll copy this sender frame, I'll change the name to the text will be recipient. Okay, where this will be gridded. Let's check this sender frame. It was gridded at row 0 column 0, so after this only we'll have to grid it, right? So it will be at row 1. So inside this frame, firstly I will insert a label, email address, and its entry field where the receiver's email address will be written. Okay, so I'll copy these two things, uh, this label and this entry field. I'll change the name to receiver label and receiver entry. Okay, here the text will be changed to email address, and instead of sender frame, this label and this entry field will be inside this recipient frame. And since this label is the first thing we are adding inside recipient frame, so row value will start from 0, and this will also be 0, column value will be 1. Okay, after this, in next row, the label will be message, and in the next row we will insert one text area inside which we will insert the bill data. Okay, so I'll copy one label and this will be message label. The text will be message. Okay, row value will be changed to 1, and just next to it we'll have to create a text area. Okay, so we'll name it email text area. So as you know, text area is created with the help of a text class. This text area has to be inside this recipient frame. So I'll mention recipient frame here, and then I'll mention the font for the text that will be written inside it, and then border of 2 pixels. The styling to the border this time will be sunken, and after that I'll grid it. So I'll write email text area dot grid. Row value will be 2 because it has to be just next below this message label. Okay, so row will be 2, column will be 0, and let's see where we'll see this. So this is the text area size that we are getting, so we need to fix its width and height. So width that I have used in my original project is 42 and height is 11. Okay, yeah, this is fine. And after that you can see this text area is not coming at the center position. Okay, so what is happening, as I mentioned, column is 0, right? So this is column 0 position. Okay, and column 1 is starting from here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to provide one value to this text area, that this text area should take 2 column spaces. Okay, so once it will take 2 column spaces, so it will be positioned at the center. Okay, so here I'll mention column span of 2. It means this text area will now take 2 column spaces like this. Okay, so this text area is taking 2 column spaces now. Earlier it was taking 1 column space, right? Column 0 space. That's why this entry field, since it is at column 1, that is why it was appearing just next to this, right? I hope you are able to understand. And at last we have to create a send button just outside this recipient frame. And as you know, button is created with the help of a button class. This button will be inside my root 1 window. Okay, text on this button will be send. After that I'll provide font for the text, and then I'll grid this button, send button dot grid. So what will be the row and column value? If you see what else is added inside root 1 window, earlier this recipient frame was added, which was at row 1 column 0. Okay, so this button will be at row 2 and column 0. Okay, like this, and I'll provide vertical padding. So pad y equals to 20. Let me increase the width of this button to 15, and I'll change the font size to 16. So our top level window is created, and now what we have to do, once I click on this email button, the bill area content should be inserted inside this text area. Okay, so for that, here I'll mention email text area dot insert method, and at the end I want to insert the content of text area. So I'll write text area dot get from start till end. So I'll get all the content of text area and will insert inside this email text area. Okay, and before insertion, I'll also delete if there is anything already present in this email text area. So from start till end, I will delete everything, and then only the insertion should take place. I hope you have understood why we have to delete before inserting anything, so that repeated content should not be present there whenever we are clicking on that email button. Okay, so let me just uncomment this, and let me just provide indentation here. So as you can see, this is how it is looking inside this text area, right? From here, what I want to delete this separators, right? This separator as well as this separator. So how will I do it? So here where we are inserting the text area content, I will replace equal to symbol with null, and in the same way I will replace dash symbol with null. So now you won't see any equal to or dash there. So as you can see, separator lines are removed, and apart from this, you can see here the price section is going to a new line, right? It should have been here at this place, right? And its value should be just below it. So this is because of the tab spaces that we provided during insertion, so that the text formatting is proper here. Let me show you where we have added that. So here you can see these tab spaces, right? So we need to replace these tab spaces with one or maybe two tab space. So here only I'll again use a replace method, and I'll replace backslash t backslash t backslash t with two tab space only. Okay, yeah. So now as you can see, the formatting is proper, so this is fine. Now let's work on the functionality of this send button. Right now nothing is happening because we have not added any functionality to it. So to the send button, I'm going to provide a command, send Gmail. Okay, and I'll define this function inside this send email function. So I'll write dev send Gmail. So whenever you will press that send button, this function will be called, and whatever code you will write inside it, that code will be executed. So I'll show you that only print statement will work this time. So whenever I'll click the send button, you will see hello getting printed here, right? So inside this send Gmail function, we will be writing the code for sending Gmail. So in order to send Gmail, we have to import one module which is smtplib. Once you import it, now you can use its method. So we'll use this module dot smtp class. Okay, we just have to create object of this class, and I'll name the object as ob, and to this method we have to pass the host name and the port number. So this is the host name and this is the port number. After that, we will establish the secure connection using one of the method of this class, and we can use that method with the help of object variable. So ob dot start ttls. Okay, this will help in establishing a secure connection. After that, we have to log in to our Gmail account. So we'll use ob.login method, and here you need to pass the username and the password. I mean the email address and the password. So we'll get the email address from this sender entry field, right? And the password from this password entry field. So we'll get the sender email address from sender entry field. So we'll write sender entry dot get method and the password from password entry, like this. After this, you have to get the message that you want to send and the email address to whom you want to send. So we'll get the message inside this message variable, and we'll get the message from this text class, right? So on this email text area we have the message, so we'll get that. So we'll write email text area dot get from starting till end. We'll get all the content, and that content will be inside this message variable. After that, we want the to address, and we'll get the receiver address from which entry field, from this receiver entry, right? So we'll get the email address from receiver entry, like this. So we got the message and we got the email address to whom we want to send this message. Now we just have to send mail. So we'll write ob.send mail method, and to this method we have to pass from address, to address and the message. So from address will get from sender entry dot get method. After that, we'll get the to address, and to address I have stored inside this receiver address variable, or if you want you can directly pass this here instead of creating a variable, like this. And then you have to pass the message. So message is inside this message variable, or you can directly pass this thing inside this method. It's up to you. And once the mail is sent, you can simply quit the connection using ob.quit method, and after that I will display a message box that bill is successfully sent. So I'll show info. Firstly, the title will be success, and then the message will be bill is successfully sent. So this is the code for sending Gmail. But note one thing, that the password that we write during login to our Gmail, that we don't have to use in this application. Okay, we have to generate some other password. I will tell you how to generate that password, and that password you have to use in order to send Gmail using this particular app that you have created. Okay, so if you'll try to use your usual password, it will not work. Let me show you. So here I'll write my Gmail address and password, and as you can see, when I'm writing the password, it is visible to us, right? So what I want, when I write the password, it should we should see asterisk symbol, right, instead of the password. So for that, what we have to do, here we have created a password entry. We just have to add show argument, and its value will be asterisk or any other symbol which you prefer. So now if I'll write my password, you will only see asterisk symbol here, and here I will write the email address of the person whom I'm sending the mail. So in this case also I'll write my own email address. Now if I try to send, you must be getting an error here. It says application specific password required. So we need to generate application specific password. So how it will be generated, let me show you. And before that, let me add try and accept block here, that if in case some error occurs, then we should see something went wrong error message right on the screen. So I'll add try and accept block here. So if everything will be fine, then this try block code will be executed. But if something goes wrong, then this accept block code will be executed. And here I will display a message box dot show error. The title will be error, and the message will be something went wrong, please try again, like this. So we are seeing this error here, right? But if you run this code now you won't see this error. Instead of that, you will see on the screen this error message that something went wrong, please try again. Okay, so let me show you how we can generate application specific password. So you have to open your Gmail and enter your email or phone number, and then enter your password here. Now you have to click here, go to accounts, and then you have to go to the security. Once you go to the security, you can see two-step verification, it is off, right? You need to turn it on. So once you click on it, go down, click on get started, click on continue. Now click on turn on. Now you have to click on this app passwords, select app, it can be mail, and then select device. I am using Windows computer, and then click on this generate button. So once you click on this generate button, you are seeing this code here. Okay, this you have to use in that particular application, okay, in order to log into Gmail. So just copy it and save it somewhere so you can use this in order to log in. Now if I run this code again, and this time I'll be using application specific password. Now once I click on the send button, it says bill is successfully sent, right? But you can see this message box is appearing on our main window, right? But it should appear on top of our top level window, right? So for that we can provide parent to this message box, and after that I'll show you whether we have received the mail or not. So to this message box and to this message box we can provide parent here, so that whenever you will see this message box, you will see this message box on top of your root 1 window, okay? So here parent will be root 1. Similarly here also parent will be root 1. I hope you are able to understand. When you are not mentioning any parent, by default it is taking parent as root. So this message box was appearing on your main window, but I want to see this message box on top of your top level window. So that's why I am mentioning parent as root 1. Okay. And now let me show you whether I have received the Gmail or not. So in my inbox, if I go to spam folder, I have received this mail here. So I can report it as not spam. Okay. So it will be inside your inbox. So here you can see that we have received the bill on our mail. Okay. So email button functionality is completed, and now we are left with this clear button functionality. This is the last thing that we have to do, okay? And it's very easy. What we want, that whenever the bill is generated, okay, and if I click on this clear button, this field should become empty. If anything is there on entry fields, that should become empty, and here 0 should be set. Like for example 2 is written, and if I click on this clear button, it should be set to 0. Okay. So I'll provide a command to the clear button. This is our clear button, and here command will be clear, and let's define this function at the top. So as I said, whenever you will click on this clear button, if these are not set to 0, then these will be set to 0. Okay. All right. So if you scroll down, here if you remember, we have added this line, bath soap entry dot insert. At the starting index we have inserted 0, right? So whenever we'll click on the clear button, we want to insert 0, right? If 0 is not there on this bath soap entry, right? So we can simply copy and we can paste inside this function, and just like bath soap entry, we'll do it for all other entry fields. So I have done it, you can also do it. So this is how you have to do for all the entry fields. Okay, I hope this is clear. After this, we also have to remove everything if anything is present on these entry fields. So there are total 6 entry fields. These are tax entry fields, and these are total price entry fields, right? After this, we have to clear these 3 fields as well, like this. And after that, we have to delete everything from this bill area. So I hope you understood it. Now let's run the code. Total bill. I'll save this. So once I click on this clear button, you can see everything is cleared. But here is the issue: 0 is inserted, but the previous values are not deleted, right? As you can see, previous values are not deleted. So what we have to do, firstly we'll have to delete all the previous values, and then 0 should be inserted. Okay, just like we are doing everywhere. So here we have inserted. So before insertion, we also have to delete everything. So this is what I was telling. Firstly, you have to delete all the entry field if there is any content on that. Okay, like this, and then the insertion should take place. Now, so now if I click on this clear button, you can see everything is cleared, right? And one last thing that I want to tell you is that once the bill is sent, right, to the email address, after that I want to close this email window. Okay, once the bill is successfully sent, after that I want to close this window. So once we are seeing this bill is successfully sent and you press OK, after that I want to simply destroy this window. So I'll write root1 dot destroy. Okay, so now you will see that once the bill is successfully sent and once you press OK, that top level window will be closed. Okay, apart from that, I also want to focus set on this top level window. Let me show you what I mean. So once this window is opened, I'm still able to click elsewhere on our previous window, right? Like for example, I am able to click on this clear button, right? I don't want this thing to happen. Firstly, this window should be closed, then only these buttons should start working, right? So we'll write here root1 dot grab set method. Now let me show you. So once this window is opened, now you won't be able to click on any of these buttons. Okay, not even you will be able to close this window. Okay, firstly you will have to close this window, then only you will be able to close the main window. I hope this is clear. So once I close it, now you will be able to click on these buttons. Okay, and now you will be able to close this window. And now let me show you how you can convert your Python file into executable file, which you can share with your friends and they can simply install the application in their system without installing Python. Okay, So this is the setup.py file that I will be providing you in the description of this video. From there you can download this file and put it in the same folder where your Python file is. Okay. You will see this file like this. And now what changes you have to do, let me just tell you that. So firstly we have to install this module cx_freeze. So go to terminal and here you need to type pip install cx_freeze like this and hit enter. So once this is successfully installed, this error will be gone. Okay. After that, what you have to do, you have to include files, and here which files you have to include? The external files. For example, we have added icon, right? So we'll mention the icon here, icon.ico file. Okay, this will be the same icon that you see on your desktop. Okay, like for example, the icon of this NordVPN is this, right? In the same way you will see that icon for your application, and then all these details will be as it is. Then inside this shortcut table list, make sure you add the software name here, billing system. Then you have to mention the Python file name here. As you can see, it's main, so I've written main.exe. Whatever your Python file name is, just put the name here and then add .exe to it. Everything else will remain as it is. And then inside this setup tuple, you can mention the version whichever you like, then the description whatever you like, author name, name. Okay, all these it's up to you, whatever you wish. And then to this executable tuple, you have to mention the script name. Script name will be your Python file name. Here it's main.py, so I have written main.py here. And then the icon that you want to see on the screen as an icon of your application, I mean, so you have to mention that name here, icon.ico. Once you do that, you can go to terminal again, and here you have to type python setup.py bdist_msi like this and hit enter. So now your Python file is getting converted into exe file. Once this is completed, you will see two folders getting created here, build and dist. You just have to right click and open it in Explorer. So this is the exe file which you can send to your friends. So let me show you how you can install it. Double click on it. Just you have to do next and click on this finish button. Now you can check icon is added on your desktop. You can simply double click on it and use the application. I hope you understood it. That's it for this project. If you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section. Also, once you complete this project, just write in the comments that I have successfully completed this project. Thank you for watching. See you in the next project.